have 4 new phones today. This is definitely the most amount of phones I've ever unboxed in a single video. And so right here we have the entire lineup of the new Tecno Camon 40 series. So the new Tecno Camon 40, the Camon 40 Pro, the Camon 40 Pro 5G, and the Camon 40 Premier 5G. And this lineup right here is actually Tecno's latest flagship AI and imaging smartphone, so let's talk about it. And just to preface, this video is sponsored by Tecno, so thank you for sponsoring the video, Tecno. But because of that, this is not going to be an opinionated review, but more so a product showcase, just showing you guys what these devices can do. Now, upon unboxing each of these devices, you'll notice that they actually all do come with an included case, which can vary depending on the specific unit that you choose. And then they do also each come with an included USB-A to C cable and an included power brick, all of which are 45 watts, except for the Premier, which comes with a 70-watt power brick. Oh, and by the way, this is probably a good time to mention that somebody who comments on this video will be getting a Tecno Camon 40 Pro 5G, so this one right here. So you should comment on the video. Now, looking at the devices themselves, you'll notice that they do all look very similar, except again for the Premier, which has a circular camera bump as opposed to 3 camera rings on the other 3 devices. But one thing that is nearly identical across all 4 of these devices is just the overall feature set in the software. So for example, one feature that all of these phones have to offer is this special button on the side of the phone. And yes, by the way, this button is programmable, so you can map it to do different things based on your preference. But what this button really allows for is just the ability to take photos super fast. Like if you randomly are in a situation where you're like, oh, I need to take a photo right now, that's what this button is used for. So from any screen on the phone, you can just quickly double press this button and it immediately launches the camera. And then if you click the button again, it immediately takes a picture. So really you can just double click, click, boom, picture taken that fast. And actually what this also does is automatically launches the camera specifically in flash snap mode, which does a couple things. So one, it allows the phone to take photos at a very fast shutter speed, so that if you're taking photos of like fast moving objects, it won't be a blur across your screen. It kind of like freezes the object in time. And then 2, it can actually automatically take photos of fast moving objects. So you can actually just like set up your phone somewhere, and then if you're going, you know, to play a sport or something, it can detect when there is fast moving motion and then automatically capture those moments for you. Now, this is actually utilizing something that Tecno calls best moment AI, where it actually is taking a bunch of photos and then it can use AI to select the best one. So you can see right here, if I just jump in the air in front of the camera, the phone automatically snaps the photo, and then it also automatically selects what it thinks is the best frame in that photo. And again, with this example right here, as I hit the pickleball, it detected that motion and then automatically snapped a photo. And so now I can show pickleball highlights without me actually having to take the pictures myself. And Best Moment AI also uses multi-frame processing to combine different images together to help reduce noise and then create a brighter and clearer overall image. These phones do also include Tecno's universal tone technology to help accurately reproduce skin tones when taking selfies or taking photos of groups of people. Now I'm gonna throw some photos up on the screen here just to give you kind of an idea of the general camera performance of the main sensor. Now all of these phones do have a 50 megapixel Sony main sensor, although the Premier does have a better 50 megapixel Sony main sensor. Now I'll let you guys judge the camera quality on your own, although I will say that the Camon 40 Pro 5G did achieve a DxOMark camera score of 138, and this actually positions this device as #1 in DxOMark's global photography for smartphones under $600. And this is actually also the first smartphone to receive the 2025 DxOMark Smart Choice label. Now all 4 of these smartphones are loaded with AI features, and actually possibly even the most AI features I've maybe ever seen on a smartphone. Now these phones are of course the most capable AI devices that Tecno has released to date, and you may have noticed that all of these phones do come with MediaTek Ultimate processors. Well, the Premier specifically comes with a MediaTek 8350 Ultimate, which actually gives it a 330% performance boost in AI. And by the way, Tecno's Ella AI that comes on all of these devices, and don't worry, we'll check that out here in a bit. But it actually also comes with DeepSeek R1 integrated. But anyways, let's check out the AI capabilities of these phones. So if you actually swipe over to the left side of the home screen, they actually just have a whole page that is dedicated to AI. So you can just quickly access all of these different AI features. I mean, I'm not even going to cover all of these in this video. There are a lot of them. Now, first up, we have Tecno's 360-degree AI calling assistant, which has a few different features. Now, first up, we have AI call noise cancellation enabled by this clear calling button. And this, of course, makes your voice sound clearer in phone calls, but the way it does it is actually kind of interesting. So the idea is that it records your voice print, is what they call it. So you basically record a 30-second audio of your own voice, and then because it knows what your voice sounds like when you are in a room with a lot of background noise, it can try to remove the background noise, but keep your voice because it knows what it sounds like.
Check 1 2 audio test 1 2 3 check 1 2 check 1 2 audio test 1 2 3 check 1 2.
Now, another feature it has built in is AI call translation. So if you're in a phone call with somebody and they speak a different language than you, it can actually translate for you, and actually not just translate for you, but also translate for the other person as well. And another thing is you can also record your phone calls, but even more than that, it can also summarize your phone calls for you. So if you enable a phone call summary, it'll actually put this in your notes after the phone call ends with your phone call recording, your phone call transcript, and an AI summary of that transcript. Now, these phones, of course, also have AI image generation features. So you'll notice when you open up a photo, you'll see an option for AI Studio, which gives you a few different options. So of course, we have an AI eraser, which allows you to just circle around a certain object or people that you want to remove from the photo, and then it'll use AI, and a few seconds later, it erases that from your photo. These phones also have an AI image extender, so you can actually expand your photo beyond what was actually there in reality. And one way that this feature can be useful is, when you take a crooked photo and then you need to go rotate it, but then it crops out the corners of that photo and kind of zooms it in. Well, instead, you can just use AI to fill in those gaps so that you can rotate your photo and it doesn't crop in. Now, these phones also have something that Tecno is calling AIGC Portrait, where you basically take 4 pictures of yourself doing different poses, and then it uses AI to add you into different scenarios. So you can see there's a whole bunch of different options here. I chose men in suit, so it basically took my picture and then kind of added me into this photo of a guy in a suit. These phones also have AI efficiency features, and this is actually where Ella AI starts to come into play. So you remember that orange button on the side of the phone that we used to quick launch flash snap in the camera? Well, if you long press that button, that is actually what launches Ella AI. Now, you can of course ask Ella AI all sorts of things and it'll use AI to try to help you. But what I wanted to do specifically in this situation is ask Ella AI to solve kind of a logic math problem. So I just asked Ella, I said, I need your help with a problem. If I'm making a 4-digit password, but with this password, 2 digits next to each other cannot be the same, and the first number and the last number cannot be 0 or 7. How many possible combinations are there? So I tried to give it just some different random variables to try to make the problem a little more complex, but then it actually broke down all of the specific requirements for this problem and then gave me and explained the answer, which it can actually be nice that it doesn't just straight up give you the answer, but it actually walks you through how it's done so then you can actually, understand it for yourself. Another AI efficiency feature is AI summaries. So say you're reading an article or something, but you don't want to read the whole article. Well, you can just highlight all of the text there and then it can summarize it for you. And you can even just ask Ella AI to do that, just say, summarize this page for me, and she'll do it for you. And these phones can even help you write. So if you need to write a happy birthday note to somebody, you can just describe what you want it to say and it can write it out for you. And then say you don't like exactly what the phone came up with, you can then have it rewrite that text in a different kind of tone, or you can even have it shrink down that text to not be as long or things like that. And again, you can also just ask Ella AI to do that task for you instead of having to physically go push the buttons to do it yourself. Our phones are really just doing everything for us these days, huh? Now, I've kind of showed you guys a little bit about how you can just ask ask Ella AI to do AI tasks for you, but it actually gets even better than what I've showed you so far. So remember how I showed you guys how you can use AI to expand an image, right? Well, let's say you don't want to have to go in and remember which buttons to press to get to those settings, right? Well, you can just ask Ella AI to do that for you. Like, you literally just go to an image in your gallery and just tell Ella AI to expand it, and it'll be expanded. Or let's say you want to erase people from a photo. You can even just be on a photo in your gallery that has people in the background, and you can ask Ella AI to erase the people in the background, and the people will be erased. And another thing is, let's say you have a picture of like a celebrity or like an object on your phone and you don't know who they are or what it is. Well, you can also just ask Ella AI who that is or what that is. It's really just a super quick, accessible button to just ask your phone to do things for you. Now, just a few last minute highlights about these devices. One is they actually do come with a lag-free guarantee. So the Camon 40 Premier and the Camon 40 Pro 5G come with a 72-month lag-free guarantee, and then the Tecno Camon 40 and the 40 Pro come with a 60-month lag-free guarantee. Now, if you're curious about the specific hardware differences between these four devices, I'll go ahead and put the main key details up on the screen for you to check out. So of course, as we go up the line, you're gonna get better specs in different areas. So like, for example, when you get all the way up to the Premier, you get a triple 50 megapixel camera setup on the back, including a periscope lens, which is why we get that bigger camera bump on the back. You'll also notice that we have some differences in the displays, although they are all high refresh rate with 120 Hertz on the Camon 40 and 40 Pro, and actually 144 Hertz on the Camon 40 Pro 5G and the Camon 40 Premier 5G. There are also different processors depending on the phone that you choose, although like I mentioned earlier, they are all MediaTek Ultimate processors, and they actually come with 5 years of updates, which includes 3 generations of Android OS updates, which allows for up to Android 18 on these devices. And if you were curious about durability on these phones, the Tecno Camon 40 Pro, the 40 Pro 5G, and the 40 Premier 5G all have IP68 and IP69 water and dust resistance, along with Corning Gorilla Glass 7i scratch and drop protection. But anyways, guys, that right there was the Tecno Camon 40 series. I will have links in the description if you guys want to check these out. And remember, one of you guys are getting a Camon 40 Pro 5G, so make sure to comment on this video. But thanks again to Tecno for sponsoring this video, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.